There we go. All right. We're live, guys.
Sweet.
Sweet. So we can wait a second. Like last week we did this. Just wait a second for a couple people to come in.
Yeah, let's do like a little pre-show type thing.
Yeah. If you guys, well, for the main video, I guess we can introduce you. This is your name's Don.
No, my name is Danny Mac.
Danny Mac. That's a badass name.
Thank you.
From NerdHype.
Yes, sir.
Yep. I have your link down in the description already, so you guys can totally go check them out.
Totally should. We will probably be doing podcasts with you guys later on too. Join our Infinity Cast as well.
Yeah. What is the Infinity Cast? Tell us about it.
Well, the Infinity Cast is just a series of podcasts and conversations, mostly between NerdHype and the NerdHype extended family, so we call it, where we basically just discuss hot trending topics, or we, basically whatever nerdy topics is that it's on our mind. Like we have one so far. I mean, we only started this about a month ago, but so far we already have one on Game of Thrones, on Dragon Ball Z. We have them on, MCU and stuff like that. So we basically try to cover all trending topics.
Yeah. That's cool. That's pretty cool because you can cover a broad range of topics.
Right.
All right. Do you guys want to go ahead and get started with it?
I'm cool with it.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right. So what's topic number 1? So they have now elected the new Spider-Man. It's Tom Holland, and not too sure how I feel about that. I really liked Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. He played a good Peter Parker and a good Spider-Man.
And
he looks like just a good Peter Parker.
Well, I mean, in that respect, like I feel like Andrew Garfield was a better Spider-Man than he was a Peter Parker, because he had the quips and everything like that. But as far as the Peter Parker aspect, he didn't really fit the Peter Parker archetype, I guess you could say, in my opinion, because he was kind of, like he was a likable guy. He wasn't like a pushed around nerd or anything like that. He was a skater. He was talking to girls. He was doing everything, and he didn't really fit the Peter Parker archetype for me, personally. But I mean, he was pretty cool Spider-Man.
Yeah, I have to agree here with NerdHype. I mean,
I can see that.
Andrew Garfield wasn't Peter Parker, like the Peter Parker that we know from the comics. He wasn't a nerd like NerdHype said over here. But this new guy Tom Holland, he looks like a nerd. I mean, I hope that helps out.
Yeah, I almost wish we could have 2 different actors, but that just wouldn't make sense.
Yeah. But, and what's cool is, I don't know if you guys actually saw around the internet, but he was actually practicing his Spidey moves, and he has the agility for it. He was putting them on his Instagram, I believe it was, and he was doing some backflips, like some parkour stuff. So I'm pretty stoked to see that, because seeing them actually do that versus just it being CGI in the moves, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I didn't actually see that. I'll have to go check that out later.
Yeah, definitely.
But I know I had finally accepted, Asa Butterfield as Spider-Man. I think I said this in the last podcast too. I'd finally accepted him as Spider-Man, and then they just kind of changed it up.
Yeah, it kind of came out of left field, because Asa Butterfield was, the main contender for a while, and then out of nowhere he's just bam, out of the running, kind of like hit you out of left field.
Yeah, it was surprising, and then I think it was decided maybe yesterday actually that they would put Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
How old is Tom Holland?
He is. I'll check. I'm so glad they didn't pick that one kid though that looked like he was like 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been bad.
It's weird because like Marvel was shooting for like younger kids, and then they picked Tom Holland. He isn't that very young.
He's 19.
Yeah.
That's not bad though.
Yeah, that's not bad. It's good because he's over 18, because we can have him on set more because of child labor laws and all that jazz. So now that he's 19 and not 17, or I think one of the other kids was younger.
Right.
Which is cool because now we can have a more complete Spider-Man movie.
Oh yeah. He can grow into the role, which is awesome, because I think that's what people wanted. For the most part, at least Marvel's side, that they wanted to treat it kind of like Harry Potter, where he grew up into the role. Now we have a Spider-Man that will mature, and like Chris Evans himself said that he wanted Captain America to kind of mentor him, to mentor the new Spider-Man, which would be pretty cool because it's a new dynamic since most of the MCU um, actors and most of the heroes that are in it are all like seasoned heroes. They're all like 40s, 30s, et cetera, et cetera. This is the first time we're going to introduce the kid element into the MCU, which I think is pretty cool.
And that's what's so cool about Spider-Man, because you can relate to him as a teenager. You can
Right.
relate to him like you have to go to school, you have to do your homework, you have to do all this, but at the end of the day, you have to be a good person.
Right.
And that's what's so cool about him.
And then I don't know if you guys kept up with some news that came out today, but Kevin Feige officially came out and confirmed him for Civil War and
Oh yeah,
said
I heard
that
about that.
said that he's going to be reporting to set immediately.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
heard about that.
really?
Yep.
Yeah.
I actually did not hear that.
Yeah, he's going to be reporting to set immediately as soon as possible. So
So be expecting some. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Be expecting some leaked images and stuff.
yeah, I can't wait for that. And
Yeah.
as far as what I remember talking about a interview with Kevin Feige that I saw where he was addressing Spider-Man, this was about a month or so back, but he was saying he really wanted to keep it to the classic, the classic web slinger, the red, the blue, all that. He didn't really want to switch it up too much with the costume. So expect to get like a classic. I want to say like the image in my head is like the classic comics and the classic Spider-Man animated series. Like that's the kind of Spider-Man I'm expecting to see on the, in the MCU now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm totally
really do
psyched
hope
about
so.
that. Yeah, because like you were saying, Comic World, he's really easy to relate to, and that did good for Marvel when they introduced a character like that in the comics.
Yep.
So this could add more. I mean, everybody knows already about Spider-Man, but it could add more relatability in the movies, perhaps, than relating to a like Iron dude that built a suit, a crazy green monster, and a super soldier. You can relate to somebody that under not that uncommon circumstances. I mean, a radioactive spider, nonetheless, but turned him into from a normal kid to just having to grow into this superhero versus purposely like Iron Man built himself a suit so he could be a superhero. Captain America volunteered for the super soldier program. So this was like something that he has to learn and hasn't
Yep.
had any, background for.
Yeah, and that's what's awesome about it. It's a coming up story. That's what's always been. That's what's always made Peter Parker Spider-Man always be one of the most popular characters in Marvel in general, because people could just relate to him, especially the younger crowd. Because right now, I mean, obviously, most of the MCU movies and shows and everything, they're PG-13, they're everything like that. To get the younger audience involved, and the younger audience eats it up. But now you're going to get someone that the younger audience can actually see themselves as. And it's kind of like Kevin Feige and Stan Lee have said, you can see the Spider-Man mask and you can be anyone behind it. You can be you in that mask. And that's the kind of the charm.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that'll work really well.
Oh, yeah.
Except for they're not all going to be PG-13, which
Well, yeah.
Deadpool.
Yeah.
I'm super
Well,
psyched.
Deadpool unfortunately isn't part of the MCU though. That's a Fox property.
Yeah, that's true.
I still think of him as a Marvel character at heart, though.
I really wish he could. That's one of those things where I feel like they need to come into an agreement between studios, because how awesome would it be to have Deadpool breaking the fourth wall in both universes?
Oh yeah, that would be
amazing.
super cool. Or being able to talk to the characters, like, and just say some, remarks. It'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, imagine just like I have this kind of like headcanon and that I think about where it's like in his movie if he would make some kind of reference to like the MCU, but it was like, oh, can't talk about that, movie rights. Like I think that would be awesome.
That would
would
be
be
pretty
funny.
funny.
So, yeah. So
Yeah.
all in all, I'm pretty cool with Tom Holland being in. Like, I can't say that I have super high expectations for it, but it's Marvel, and Marvel has a high vetting process for the for getting into the actual roles. Like I heard, even from Sony was saying that we were not prepared for how thorough Marvel is with their selection process. So I have faith in Marvel. They haven't really let me down as far in castings yet. So
That's true. Like I was telling oh man, I forgot your name, dude.
Don't forget my name.
No,
I think I know what
your
you're gonna say about
your
it last
channel.
week.
Yeah, how Iron Man, when everybody thought Iron Man was gonna be like, or Robert Downey Jr., nobody liked him, and what do
right.
you know? He's amazing at his role.
Yeah, and that's a classic. I guess you could say conundrum, because same thing happened with Heath Ledger playing the Joker. Everybody loved him at the end, obviously, because he
Yeah.
did a great performance. So it's too easy. I mean, The problem was that everyone was whining before about, oh, there's no Spider-Man in the MCU. Then we started getting a Spider-Man in the MCU. Now they're complaining he's too young. That blah, 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 blah. I mean, you're never going to please everyone.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
I
The
think
best
when
you
he
can do is
finally comes
please.
on screen, then people settle down a little bit.
Yeah.
pretty much. I'm willing to give the kid a chance, so why not?
All right, do you guys want to move on? It's been about 10 minutes.
Yeah, sounds great.
All right. So the next thing we're going to is Spider-Gwen. She's getting a series relaunch. So there's been a lot of actually there's a lot of series I believe that are getting relaunched. Kind of not rebooted, but or some of them might be rebooted, but more retold.
Right.
And she's going to be one of them. I haven't personally read any of the Spider-Gwens yet. I've been trying to buy them, but I just haven't had time to go out and get them.
Right.
Personally, I didn't really like Spider-Gwen. She didn't really. I don't know. I couldn't relate to her. I just didn't like her character. I'm surprised that it's getting a relaunch again. I don't know. I
Well,
didn't like it.
I mean, not to interrupt you, but I
Yeah, go
actually
ahead.
think it's been Spider-Gwen turned into a cult classic for a lot of people. A lot of people love the concept. I personally, like either of you guys, I haven't really read it too much. I was kind of waiting for like a graphic novel to come out of the first volume so I can just pick it
Yeah.
up and go through it all at once. But personally, from what I hear, there's a lot of buzz on the internet. A lot of people love them. Like as you see, if you go check out conventions right now, a lot of girls cosplaying Spider-Gwen. So I mean, it's a pretty cool concept in itself. It's just not something that it makes me want to go. Oh, I want to go out and read it right now.
Yeah.
That's true.
She's definitely cool, and wasn't it Spider in the comic though? Spider-Man dies, and that's why she becomes, or Peter Parker dies, and that's why she becomes Spider-Gwen.
I believe so.
Yeah.
But I think she's the one who got bit, and then it was kind of like a role reversal thing where Peter Parker died, and then so she.
Almost like a what-if scenario turned into a real comic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys kept up with Spider-Verse, I mean, there are all kinds of things happening. Between
Spider-Ham.
Spider-Verse or Spider-Ham was ridiculous. I mean, but then you had like the
Spider-Man was awesome.
the spoilers alert in case anyone hasn't actually read Spider-Verse, which you probably should. It's been out for months. Come on now. But there was even Uncle Ben Spider-Man. So there's almost any possibility as far as the multiverse goes. Although
Yeah.
as of right now, the multiverse is no more. But I mean, I guess Spider-Gwen made it out simply because of the popularity.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And then she's getting herself in a game. That's not too important, but she's getting herself into a game.
Mm-hmm.
I used to play that game, Marvel Contest Champions. You guys can download it. It's an app. It's basically like a fighting beat 'em up game, except you have Marvel characters, which is really cool.
It's like Injustice Gods Among Us.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And I kicked ass with what was it? Black Widow. I kicked ass with her, dude.
Yeah, I remember I had that game, and I haven't really played it recently, so I kind of removed it from my phone because it was taking up space.
Yeah, I did the same.
But I remember I unlocked like a level. What was it? It was like the higher level you can get, like 4 or 5 or something
4
like that.
stars.
Yeah, like I had like a 4-star Iron Man I unlocked out of pure luck, and then it was just wrecking everything and like one-shotting everything at the early parts of the game, and I was like, this is too easy, man.
Yeah, the one thing that I didn't really too particularly like about that game is they gave you the coolest characters, and then they would be for like a limited time.
Yeah.
And like the Hulkbuster, I was so close to being able to buy that, but I didn't want to spend real money, and I couldn't do it because they only had it for like a couple hours or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not too bad of a paying game, but there's definitely a lot that you have to pay for that game.
Yeah, and I'm not really up for that. I mean, I didn't even know that Spider-Gwen was going to be on that game, but I guess that's just another testament to her popularity, I suppose.
Yeah.
They're
It's
just
not going to be
testing
out
the
till later
waters.
this year.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, I mean, would you guys actually read the Spider-Gwen comics if you had a chance to?
I think I'd almost be more likely to read the old ones and the new ones just so I can see like this is what they did.
Yeah,
And because I don't think it'd be too crazy of a difference. I think it'll just be like a different maybe storytelling. The origin story I think would be relatively the same.
hmm Yeah, I mean, and you got to think about it in the all-new, all-different Marvel universe that's following after Secret Wars. You're gonna have quite a bit of spider people in the lineup. Like if you saw the pictures that they were releasing of, you have Peter Parker, you have Miles Morales, you have Jessica Drew, Spider Woman, and then you have Spider Gwen. So you got your whole little clan of spider people, and I don't know if she's being introduced into the new universe, but I didn't see Silk anywhere, so I don't know if that's someone we're going to be seeing in the new universe. But
I think we're going to talk about this later, but I'm pretty sure Miles Morales officially replaced Peter Parker.
yeah, from what I've been reading about that was that something about Miles Morales is the main Spider-Man, that he's getting his own Spider-Man line within the same continuity, but it's one of those things where he's going to coexist with Peter Parker, and it's going to say how it's going to be, because in the Ultimate Universe, Peter Parker died, then Miles Morales became the new Spider-Man. So now it's going to be like a little coexistence type of thing where Peter Parker is going to be like a mentor to him in a way. So
yeah, that could be interesting.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely going to be cool. And so back to Spider-Gwen. Yeah, it's definitely, with this news, makes me want to go back and read the old one, or I guess the original Spider-Gwen, and then before I go out and read the new one. But I think I'll definitely, at one point, like you were saying, buy it in one, bulk of things, so I don't have to go out and continuously buy one after another after another.
Yeah, because I think in order to get her full backstory, you have to get the tie-in from Spider-Verse, where they told in her story, and then it goes off in her own comic line afterwards. So it could be a little complicated. I just like it if it was all in one place, because I don't feel like buying it issue per issue. It's not one of those stories.
Yeah, what do you guys think about a Spider-Gwen movie? Would you see it?
I mean, yeah, I'd go see it. I mean, it's Marvel.
Yeah, I'd give it a shot.
I'll give it a shot.
And who would you want to play as Gwen? I liked what was it, Emma Stone? I liked her as Gwen. She did.
She was cool. I just don't see her pulling off the action sequences though.
Yeah, I can't see that. It's the same thing when we were going back with in our first topic, where two different people would be really good.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I don't know. I can't really think about it. Maybe. I mean, because I know she's like a favorite for Captain Marvel, but maybe Charlize Theron. Maybe, I don't know, but she's a good favorite. Right? Yeah, she's a little older, but she still looks pretty young. Like if you look at her, she looks really good for how old she is. But I mean, that's the only thing that comes to mind with that for me is because she can pull off action. I don't know if you guys saw, Mad Max and other movies that she's done. She can pull off action pretty good. But yeah. I'd rather see her as Captain Marvel, honestly.
Yeah, did they decide who Captain Marvel is going to be yet?
No, not yet. That's like way ahead. But they're talking about it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be interested in who they pick for the first. What is it? The very first Spider-Man? My head's in the gutter. The very first Marvel standalone female movie.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it. But
and the Inhumans, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, Inhumans. I mean, if you guys have been keeping up with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they've been doing a pretty good job of building up the lore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually haven't watched a lot of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I like to jump in late to shows because that way I can just binge watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's like completely different from season 2, like completely different. Like season 2, like it's really good.
I mean, it's I think even the back half of season 1, after the events of Captain America: Winter Soldier, where S.H.I.E.L.D. fell. Yeah. Then that's when you start getting into the good stuff, because then you start getting into who's Hydra, who's S.H.I.E.L.D., and it just starts picking up after that. But season 2 took it in a completely different direction because they started introducing the Inhumans and the Inhuman Society and the Terrigenesis, the Terrigen crystals, etc., etc. So it's pretty cool in my opinion. So if you I agree with you on that about jumping in late to shows because you get to binge watch it. Luckily, Netflix has all 2 seasons on right now, so you can go through it.
Yeah, that's definitely something I'll probably have to do if I want to, catch up on some things that I should know.
I'm honestly surprised that they started bringing the Inhumans in that quick, but because the movie's years away. But they're
trying to build up lore. Plus, it's kind of something that nobody really knows about the Inhumans.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're a comic book reader. So,
Well,
or
no,
you've heard the name thrown around. But
mean,
as far as who they are and like the lore behind it, not many average moviegoers know what that is. So they're kind of trying to, I think, give some backstory. It almost reminds me of if they did that for Guardians of the Galaxy, but
Yeah.
because nobody really knew what that was, and then it became a hit. So
Yeah, and Guardians of the Galaxy became like an instant cult classic. Like
yeah,
everybody loved it. But so what do you guys think? Move on to the next topic, or
yeah. Did you Comic Roll? Did you have something you were gonna say?
I already forgot what I was gonna say.
Sorry.
No, it's fine,
Um,
dude.
yeah, we are just about there. All right. So the next thing is Hulk having a standalone movie is possible, but there's one thing about it. So we've thought that it's been Universal that hasn't been wanting Marvel to make a standalone movie, but it turns out that Marvel could actually make it, and Universal is just what they call like they just kind of decide if they want to produce it. I think it was.
isn't it there that
Um,
Universal has the
or
distribution
distribute it.
rights? Yeah.
Yeah, just distribute. I'm sorry, distribute. And if that doesn't work, then they could always like just pick somebody else. I think, um, or something. That's what I was reading. But it's possible Marvel just doesn't really want to make it happen because they've said in the past that it's just him really smashing around stuff. And
Yeah, and with characters like him, it's hard to make a movie that will intrigue people because I mean you have to make a villain that's as powerful or more powerful than Hulk, and you know it's a lot harder.
yeah,
You
what I
know?
could if they did it, which I don't think they will. Um, if they're not going to go the route of making a World War Hulk like Planet Hulk movie, um, they could always introduce Red Hulk in Civil War, since we have Thunderbolt Ross, um, and then make him get away somehow at the end and not come back until Phase 4. So that way we have him, because think of how long it's been since we saw that Thunderbolt Ross like at first, and the old movie was like 2008 or whatever,
Yeah.
and so he's shown that he could stand the test of time. So if it's another like 7 years before he comes back in Phase 4 in a World War Hulk movie,
Hmm.
or not even World War Hulk, just like a Hulk movie, period, then we can have a foe that's capable of making a challenge to Hulk.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that I was just now scrolling down, reading through some news. Apparently, William Hurt, the actor for Thunderbolt Ross, was just teasing on Twitter, I believe, or through some other news outlet that it's going to be a very different take on Thunderbolt Ross. So that's kind of like ominous to me. I don't know about you guys. I mean, like, a different take. Like, what if it is Red Hulk? And I think that'd be awesome, personally.
I really,
I
really do hope
hope
they
it's Red Hulk,
introduce Red
yeah.
Hulk.
Yeah.
That
And
would
the
be
thing,
really interesting.
Another thing I was reading about too, that it's because I was reading about the Hulk standalone movie as a possibility, but I heard that if there were to be one, that they might actually make him have a team up with Spidey.
Oh, that'd be
Uh,
cool.
Yeah,
That'd
if
be
like if you
interesting.
guys know, like he's one of the few characters who can actually sit there and talk to Hulk. That won't actually like throw a punch at him right away.
yeah,
Yeah.
So I
kind of
mean,
chill Hulk down.
that would be pretty cool. I'd watch that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
I
Yeah,
just think that
that would be cool.
I just think that Planet Hulk would actually be a good story arc to follow
Yeah,
through because if you think about it in terms of who the MCU has, it's a little limited as far as storylines because that's what people are questioning was um, after Thanos and the Infinity War, what's next?
yeah, we
Yes,
were
and
talking about
hey,
that in our
yeah.
last podcast.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I was saying how they could maybe introduce and make a movie about what is it, the Celestials or
hmm
the yeah they could or the cosmic entities, just something like that because of the introduction of Captain Marvel and like
yeah.
cosmic realm
Well, I
like
think what
that.
I think what Marvel's doing, and I think it's extremely smart, is that they're keeping their Earthbound and cosmic universe separate, kind of like in the comics. Like, yeah, there will be times when they cross over during events. Like that's what Kevin Feige said about Infinity Wars. He called it a quote unquote giant crossover event. So that's why I expect there to be Guardians, Avengers teams up, etc., etc.
That's
Um,
gonna be awesome.
that would be great because if it's a big crossover, think about it for a second. By the time Infinity War rolls around, we're not just going to have Avengers. We're going to have the Shield. We're going to have Inhumans. We're going to have the Defenders and whoever else is street level, and you have the Guardians of the Galaxy already set up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
It's
that's
not as it's a lot of people like contrary to popular belief, people say that there's not a lot. There's definitely not as many, but there's not a shortage.
yeah, definitely. But the thing is with the Hulk movie is that I think it would be a great arc. It would be another great story to make one movie about Hulk getting blasted off into
Hello?
space,
Yeah.
and then one coming back. Except, in there you'd have to kind of vilify again Tony Stark and whoever it was that sent him. If you were to follow the comics, anyways. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
think it would be cool.
And with the introduction of more characters that were part of the Illuminati, it could definitely work. It's a good lead up.
Yeah, yeah, I assume so. And then we're gonna have Black Bolt and and Black
Doctor
Panther,
Strange.
Doctor Strange. Yeah, that's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to the Black Panther movie as well.
Oh yeah, that's one of
He's
the
gonna be
ones I'm most
awesome.
stoked for. I love Black
Oh
Panther,
yeah.
man.
You know something kind of crazy? I've looked all over, and it's been hard for me to find people that cosplay as Black Panther that
Yeah,
do it well, like in tight, like muscle kind of suit thing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Most people build it out of like cardboard or
I
a
mean,
Batman mask that they stretch out.
thinking about it, like back then, like before the MCU was really picking up speed, like who was really cosplaying as Captain America? Better yet, I'll do you one better. Who would you ever see cosplay as Groot or Rocket Raccoon? Like that came out of nowhere. They're suddenly A-listers now. That's the crazy part. So,
Yeah.
I assume after the movies, everyone's gonna try to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
But
And it was Comic-Con, so we had a lot of comic fans,
yeah,
but still, I feel like definitely the movie fans outweigh the comic fans, like in numbers.
hmm yeah,
Which kind
because
of sucks.
if you think about it, the comic book community isn't as big. That's why they market the movies the way they do because the comic community that goes to watch these movies is a very small percentage. So they got to do it for all the general moviegoers. So that's why you have all these people who just think the movies are canon. They've never picked up a comic book. So, but that's what they got to sell. If you got to be thankful there's people too because if they didn't go to watch the movies, we probably would stop getting these movies. So,
Yeah,
That's true.
and one of the things that does suck though is they're not. I feel like they're not paying as much love to the comics. They are, but like not as much as they do. And that's one of the reasons I started my channel was because I want to bring people that just watch the movies and don't know, and people that want to get interested in the
mhm.
comics. I want to, kind of unite the people.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
it's a good concept.
Yeah, and that's why originally my name was Marvel's. What is it? Explaining Marvel Cinematic Universe, but there's only so much you can do with that because there's only been so many movies, and there's only going to be so many movies to come before I run out of video ideas. So that's why I switched it over to explaining Marvel Comic Universe, so I didn't have to change my name.
Yeah.
So that way it covers the comics and the cinematic, and I can do both and still, bring people together. But I can cover the comics, which, I kind of love more than the movies because it's,
The
I don't
source
know.
material.
Yeah.
That's what makes it awesome because what a great time is it to be alive considering that we grew up with the comics back in the 90s or wherever it was that you were growing up with them and you were like, man, I'm never going to be able to see this, and then X-Men came out and Spider-Man came out and you're like, this is as good
Yeah.
as it's going to get. And then out of nowhere we're getting 2008, we get Iron Man, we see Nick Fury show up at the end credit scene saying you're in a part of a bigger universe, and that just blew people's mind.
Yeah.
2012, we got Avengers, we got the first superhero team up. Now we're getting all sorts of stuff like Warner Brothers and DC is trying to compete now by doing Batman versus Superman. So we're getting all this kinds of stuff, all of the fluctuation, all of the success of the Marvel movies. So I think it's awesome. It's a great time to be alive.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Definitely. Definitely stoked for. And I love the competition too because that means more movies for us.
Exactly, and better quality in movies. That means Marvel
Try
can't.
to outdo each other.
Yeah, they can't afford to slack off. They have to start doing good because let's be honest, I'm more of a Marvel fan than I am a DC fan.
Oh yeah.
I'll put it out right now. But you know, Marvel doesn't get everything perfect.
They don't.
So
They don't.
and let's be honest, Superman and Batman fighting each other on screen for the first time ever, it's going to bring in some huge numbers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But here's the
Definitely.
thing. That's the thing that was my favorite part about what Marvel did is that they started announcing Batman vs Superman, and I don't know if you guys remember about that, where they were talking about the whole, oh, we're scheduling for this day the same day as Captain America 3, and then Captain America 3 was kind of like, it wasn't, there was no name for it, there was just Captain America 3, and then I feel like, DC was trying to play hardball, and then Marvel was like, all right, you want to do Batman vs Superman? Here's Captain America versus Iron Man. And then they were like, I just thought that felt like that's what they did because they were like, all right, screw it. And then they ended up deciding to change the date after all. So
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
thought that was funny.
yeah. All right, so we got about a minute left on the timer. So do you guys want to move on, or
Yeah, let's go ahead.
all right, Comic World? You got anything else you want to say?
No, let's move on.
Alrighty. So next topic is we kind of talked about it. Miles Morales is replacing Peter Parker somewhat. Yeah. And so that'll be kind of interesting. Definitely being a different race. Well, people either like it or hate it.
Yeah.
That's how people are.
There's always gonna be haters, but
Yeah.
I think most people will be stoked, excited.
Yeah.
Personally, with me, I'm not a huge fan of Miles Morales. It's because I'm more of a Peter Parker faithful. I grew
Yeah.
up with Peter Parker, and I never really got into the Ultimate Comics line. Like, I was always more into the main 616 continuity. And so that's why I always kind of focus on Peter Parker. And the little bit of what I've read about Miles Morales, as far as attitude, like, I'm not really a big fan. Just because of how he acted when he was starting his career, et cetera, et cetera. Even though Peter Parker wasn't exactly exemplary when he started his thing either. But I mean, I've been, with Peter Parker for so long that I'd much rather see him than I would rather see Miles.
Yeah, it's like
That's true.
losing
I,
like your favorite person.
I haven't read anything about Miles Morales except for that little scene in Secret Wars. I think it was
Yeah.
like issue 2 or 3, and that's all I've read about Miles Morales. So I'm sad that if this is true that Peter Parker's leaving.
Yeah.
He's been with us like how many years? Like plus 60 or something.
Yeah, I mean, 1963 was his first publication, I believe.
Yeah. So
It's been
Something like that.
50 years.
I mean, it's a cool take. It's a cool spin because I guess, let's be honest, Marvel has had some good stories and some bad stories, but some of the worst stories it's ever had were Spider-Man stories. Some of the most universally hated ones, like the clone sagas, and one more day. Like everyone just loathed those stories. So I mean, if Miles Morales was one of the few characters from the Ultimate Universe that got just a huge fan base, that's why he ended up getting his own line. Where it was just, I think how they started off was the Ultimate X-Men, and then the Ultimates, which was like the Avengers of the Ultimate Universe. And Miles just got so much popularity just because he was a mixed race, and people like to see that. So, and I don't know, personally, I don't know much about Miles enough to comment on it, but the little that I read, I was kind of like, I'll stick with Peter.
yeah.
Yeah, Peter Parker. He's had more time to gain fan base. I'm totally pro Peter, but I feel like if there's some things that Miles Morales could do right, he could definitely, be up there on par, but it's probably going to take him a while. We're going to be looking back on our grandkids saying, oh, I remember when Miles Morales was introduced.
Yeah.
Like, people our day from the 60s saying, I remember when Peter Parker was introduced.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is going to go on for a good while. Like I said, I don't know much about Miles, but I'd be willing to give him a shot, especially if we're going to have him splitting a universe with Peter Parker.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, you have Peter Parker, like I said earlier, you have Peter Parker, you have Spider-Gwen as well. So I want to see how that dynamic's going to work out in the new universe.
Yeah, because one of the reasons Spider-Gwen became Spider-Gwen was because Peter Parker died.
Yeah.
And so...
Let's not forget that if we read Spider-Verse, that the 616 continuity Peter Parker was known as the greatest Spider-Man of all time. Out of all the realities, he was known because he was the only one to defeat Morlun. So, I mean, that's kind of what made me feel pride in Peter. Like, I was like, hell yeah, my Peter's the best Peter, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but, I mean, the thing is, it's the whole ideology of the whole with great power comes with great responsibility. All the times where you've seen him sacrifice himself or like stay back, in fights that he just can't win, like Juggernaut or Hulk, and he'll still keep on getting up and fighting. And that's the kind of things that make me like Peter Parker that much.
Yeah, I feel like he might be almost a little bit better if he acted kind of like Deadpool in a sense where when he falls down, he gets back up and he would say some remark. Like he does that stuff, but if he could almost, I don't know. I think Spider-Man, if he had some of Deadpool's like character traits, could be really funny. Like even if they made Deadpool a Spider-Man, that would be pretty funny. Like for like an issue or two, or like what if Deadpool became Spider-Man
Yeah, that would be pretty
and just
neat. I'd read that.
off of how he does, but be able to swing around and act like Spider-Man as well.
I don't know if you guys have heard this, but there's gonna be I think it's a miniseries, Deadpool versus Thanos. Since you guys are
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about Deadpool, that I'm really excited for that. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I read something about that where it was wasn't it something about people in the universe just stopped dying because death disappeared? So it's up to Thanos and Deadpool to find death and make sure people
Also
start
wait,
dying again.
they're gonna team up.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think it's called Deadpool versus Thanos, but like they will be fighting and they will be doing stuff. But I believe what the concept behind it is that death suddenly disappears from the universe, so nobody in the universe is dying, and the whole universe is happy about it. But Deadpool and Thanos are like, I'm gonna go. We got to make sure people start dying again.
that's
Where'd she go?
Pretty much.
Yeah, it'll
So,
definitely be interesting. I haven't read too much about that.
so how do you guys feel about Miles ultimately?
Uh,
Um,
I
I'll give
can't
him a
really.
shot.
I'll give him a shot, but I mean, like Don was explaining, I haven't read much about him, so I don't know if he's a good Spider-Man or I don't know.
Yeah, it's all about what it kind of comes down to is how can you can you be Spider-Man and also pull off, being Peter Parker
Yeah,
and be good at them.
Because I believe that their titles are going to be different. I think Peter and Miles are going to be getting separate lines, comic lines. I think Miles is just going to be the Spider-Man, and I think they might reboot Peter Parker in the Amazing Spider-Man. So there might be two different lines.
Oh, a Spider-Man reboot. It's like the movies all over again.
Yeah, I mean, but it's the all new, all different universe, so kind of expected.
Yeah,
One
makes.
thing, one thing about the new universe that it's kind of surprising because if you remember, probably as long as you can remember, thinking back, Spider-Man's been like the poster boy for Marvel.
Yeah,
Nowadays,
most
they're
of the
putting
comics I have, it has a little 30-year seal on it of
with Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's face. Yeah.
Now they're trying to move Iron Man to the forefront to be like the face of Marvel.
No,
yeah, and if you guys remember,
I don't like that.
Iron Man wasn't very important. Nobody liked Iron Man until the Civil War event.
Honestly, for me, Iron Man's actually always been my favorite character. One of my favorite characters, I should say. I just like this concept. I've always really enjoyed Iron Man, and to see him being part of the forefront of Marvel, I guess it makes sense. Simply the fact that they're trying to make the comics more like the movies, and Iron Man was the one who started the MCU's. I mean, Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal was awesome, so then everything just kind of like blew up from that.
Yeah,
So I can kind of
They
see
should
why they're
make
doing it.
they should make the movies more like the comics in that sense, though, because you have to stick to the material that you're creating them off of. So it should almost be.
Well, think about it this way. If you have an advantage, I mean, if you were to have an advantage by making your source material closer to what your movies already are, I mean, it's just business when you come right down to it. And it may
yeah.
not be fan service, but I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like, what do you guys
Yeah.
think? What do you guys think about them removing Fantastic Four and what seems to be most of the X-Men because they can't have them in the movies?
Yeah. And now
Like,
the Inhumans are
Where are they
replacing
gonna
them.
go? Where are they gonna go? Universal or what is it? Fox doesn't have a comic book series. They're just
yeah.
gonna be out there.
Well, I think that's just a marketing ploy from their part, where
I
it's
think
just
just to screw them over, you know.
Yeah, not give them any extra publicity. For example, I don't think that the characters are going to go anywhere in the comics. They just won't have their own line. Like I think in the all new universe, the Thing is going to be part of the Guardians. Like they're testing that out, like a Guardians Rocket team up, whatever, with the Thing. And what else? What else was there? What else did I read? And then it looks like they showed X-23 being the new Wolverine, but from what I've been reading and kind of been hearing around the industry is that they're planning to put the mutants all off into like a different planet, Planet X or something like that. Since the X-Men were very, they're actually very space-based. So they
Yeah.
were going to put them in the planet and try to make the Inhumans like the new thing, the new mutants, pretty much.
Yeah, that could be totally interesting. And then I've probably the most random thing we're gonna say on the podcast, but do you guys know how Samuel L. Jackson became Nick Fury?
Because it wasn't it because he called them up and he's like, "This guy looks like me," and they're like,
Yeah,
"Yeah,
yeah. They made a model of the comic
of the
of
Ultimate
like
Universe."
they made him like Nick Fury in the Ultimate Universe. They made him look like Samuel L. Jackson. They even referenced it in the comic.
Yeah,
They're talking about who people. I thought it was super funny. They were talking about who would play what actor if they were to make movies. They were kind of like breaking the fourth wall.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, Samuel Jackson will play me. And then they were like, Brad Pitt would play like Iron Man or something. I forget. They were just having a bunch of like celebrities
Yeah,
playing.
yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, nah, if that, and I was, my temper's changing. If that means they wanted Samuel Jackson, does that also mean that they wanted those other people to be that? I was watching a video and that's how they were describing it, like having Brad Pitt as Iron Man or something. Is that, did they want that and just couldn't get it, or is
It
that
was
a
kind of
joke?
like wink, 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 wink. Like let's come jump on board for this. I mean,
Well,
because
work with Samuel Jackson.
if you notice, if you guys heard of this, but I guess the original contender for the Iron Man role was supposed to be Tom Cruise, not
Yeah.
Yeah,
Robert
oh
Downey
yeah, that's
Jr.
who it was. It was Tom Cruise, and then Brad Pitt was going to be like Captain America or something.
Yeah, something like that. So I'm pretty happy with the castings we have now.
Yeah, I
Oh,
could
So
yeah.
see him as Iron
yeah,
Man. That would be
and
bad.
here's another little aside because I've been seeing this a couple times over the internet, and this is just in the realm of speculation and rumor, but supposedly that they're already casting for Infinity War, and that one of the villains, quote unquote, they're actually casting for is Magus or Magus, whatever you might want to call it. The dark side of Adam Warlock.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
That would,
that's
that
what
would
they're
be
casting for. I would love to see that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Which,
who do you think
And
they'll cast for Adam Warlock? Because they're
I have
probably going to
no
show him up
idea.
in Guardians too.
Wasn't Matthew McConaughey like trying to audition for Marvel?
he
I
was
could kind
trying to
of
do the
Yeah,
Goblin, Green Goblin,
yeah,
or
yeah.
yeah
He was trying to be Green Goblin, I think.
yeah. I don't know if I see him as Green Goblin, but I could picture him as an Adam Warlock.
Yeah, yeah. I could picture that. He's one of my better actors on the list. I'm just excited that I can see more Thanos. He's my favorite character in all of Marvel.
Oh, you like my boy Josh. Then that's his favorite character in Marvel as
He's
well.
my favorite. Yeah, and the actor that plays him, Josh Brolin, just does a great job.
Oh yeah, when he came out talking in Guardians, I mean, who didn't get chills from that?
oh yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely cool. All right, so we're like a couple minutes past it.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything else you want to say?
No, that's it.
Comic
Yeah, I'm
book?
pretty
Sums
good.
it up.
All right. All right, all right. So the last topic before our wrap up will be that X-Men Apocalypse will reportedly feature Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, which I know he's wanting to kind of end his reign as Wolverine. Hugh Jackman is, and it's crazy to think that he's been what is it? He's been Wolverine for so long. It's been almost 20 years or something
Yeah.
around there. And it doesn't feel like that long with how
Yeah,
the
that's
spacing
true.
of the movies come out, and it's just really interesting to hear that he's going to end. And they're going to probably usher in new people, hopefully, or like you said, X-23 to replace him.
Mm-hmm.
That'll definitely be something that'll either work or won't work because of how recognized Hugh Jackman is as Wolverine.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, I don't think people will ever see another Wolverine like Hugh Jackman. People always say, like, Hugh Jackman was the original Wolverine, He was the best Wolverine to ever be casted and stuff. Like, that's the way. I don't see anybody else as being Wolverine because Hugh Jackman has been the Wolverine for so long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he did a really good job.
And that's the thing that when he first was cast as Wolverine, people didn't really like him either. That's another one of those scenarios because
Yeah.
they were complaining, like, they're saying that, oh, Tom Holland's too young. Oh, that's cool. Well, I mean, back then they were complaining that Wolverine was too tall because Wolverine's supposed to be short in the comics. That's like one of his quips.
Yeah.
So, it can go either way. As far as him coming out in Apocalypse, I mean, did anyone not see that coming?
That's
Like,
true.
Yeah, I saw it coming.
And
I feel like it's almost just they just wanted to generate news for the movie.
yeah. This is
But
building up the hype.
because we have, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Because they have all these other movies to compete with, they want to kind of release as much thing to keep it fresh on people's minds.
I just.
Yeah.
Oh, you can
No,
go ahead.
go ahead.
All right.
I was just agreeing.
All right. I'm just saying, like, I just hope that Wolverine isn't gonna be like the main focus in Apocalypse. Like, I hope he's not gonna be like doing
he
all the
probably
heavy
won't be.
lifting. Like, I just hope he does like an important role, but he's not gonna be like he's gonna be carrying the movie, you could say, and just save him for the last Wolverine movie.
Yeah, just maybe not have him as much in it. But another thing is, um, it's kind of off topic, but Channing Tatum is not going to be. Well, he's going to be Gambit, but he's not going to be in Apocalypse.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that one kind of threw me off guard because I thought
I don't know how I feel about that. But he gets his own standalone movie, right?
Yeah, he
That's-
does. But I don't know, like, because Gambit was a real fan favorite in the early '90s,
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
and ever since, like, after it was revealed in his origin story about how he was part of the
He
mutant
dropped.
massacre, he just dropped in
Yeah,
popularity.
he dropped.
He's never recovered because they just can't find a way to make him interesting anymore.
And that's the thing. Like, are people gonna go see a Gambit movie? Because not a lot of people know about Gambit.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, some people know about him from, what was it?
Oh yeah, from
X-Men
X-Men.
Origins.
and the animated series.
I still hate that movie because of
what they did to
with
Deadpool.
The
Yeah.
Deadpool, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't like it. I like Wolverine's part of it. Funny story is, before that movie actually came out, I got like a pirated copy, like before the midnight release,
hmm
and it was like the worst ever because it was like a developer copy, so there were scenes that were supposed to be CGI that weren't, so they were just like
No.
rag dolls of like animated graphics, like
That's
in like
all bad.
like in place graphics. So like I don't know if you remember the scene where he's fighting Sabretooth and he like throws him on a like a log bus or something, a truck that's
yeah.
carrying logs. That was just like some gray blocks that had a humanoid figure popping up and down on them. There's a
Yeah.
there's a couple of them with like ropes attached to his back when he's doing like slashing scenes so he can move
Mhm.
around quicker. It was just really funny.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then the scene where what was it, when Cyclops like is in school and his eyes like shoot out of the building? That was just totally CGI. It was the same thing, just gray blocks and then a red laser.
So, how did you guys actually feel about Days of Future Past, though?
It was good. I
It
liked
was
it.
good. It was amazing.
I thought it was an interesting movie. It wasn't terrible like a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been doing. Fox has been doing a good job at making better X-Men movies. Like with The Last Stand. It was horrible.
Yeah, they got rid of Brett Ratner.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But I mean, it was a really good movie because I remember in that year it was competing with Captain America 2: Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy. And
Ooh.
I think out of those three, it was probably the weaker one. And
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
and
but-
Amazing Spider-Man 2, but Amazing Spider-Man 2 was like hot garbage. So I'm
Yeah.
talking about Winter Soldier and Guardians. I mean, that's really tough competition for a movie because both those movies were amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I liked it. It was cool, and I liked that
It
it
was good.
featured a lot less Wolverine, even though it was Wolverine going to the past. But even for the final battle, he just kind of got blown away, and it was like, get out of
Yeah.
here. And then, and that's kind of what I like to see because as far as Wolverine quitting and being replaced or whatever, I mean, there's so many good mutants you can make a movie out of. There's so many good mutants you can get together. You don't necessarily need Wolverine. I mean, if you remember the original X-Men, wasn't it? It was like Angel, Beast, Cyclops, Marvel Girl, Jean Grey, and I think that's it. And Professor X, obviously. You can make an Iceman. That's who it was. You can make a whole movie just revolved around them, around the original team, and not include Wolverine till later, like years later down the line when people have kind of
Yeah.
forgotten about Hugh Jackman. Recast him as somebody else.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, because he was never really one of the original X-Men. You know, he came in
Yeah, yeah.
later.
So I
Yeah,
mean,
that would definitely be interesting.
I would watch a movie with the original lineup.
Yeah,
That could be
definitely.
cool.
But as far as Apocalypse goes, like how hype are you guys for that?
It's pretty.
I honestly didn't know who Apocalypse was until I saw the end credit scene. I
Mm,
saw because I always stay for end credit scenes, and most of my friends don't know why. Well, until like it became popular in movies to stay after the credit scenes.
yeah.
Um, people didn't know why I would stay. They'd be like, "Well, we gotta go." I was like, "No, you're missing part of the movie." And so when I would go to watch that one, I saw super. I thought that scene was really bad because of the way like the CGI and all that was with
Yeah.
just the pyramids flying around. They looked really really bad.
Hmm.
Which it's just an end credit scene. It shouldn't be super super good, but it should
Yeah,
build
yeah.
some hype.
Yeah,
And
like
so they with Apocalypse when he just kind of appeared out of nowhere, he looked like a girl to me. And
Yeah.
so
And that's the thing, like a lot of people didn't get it. Like if you weren't a diehard comic fan, you weren't gonna get it because they're just when they're chanting "En Sabar Noor, En Sabar Noor," and
yeah,
you
I
see,
heard the name before. I knew kind of who Apocalypse was. I just didn't know. Like, I haven't read into his characters, and
yeah,
so I knew that that's who it was when they were like chanting that. But I thought maybe he was going to show up, and that wasn't him or something. He just didn't. It didn't look like how he looks. He didn't look like as badass.
yeah, yeah.
And I know it's his origin story, like when he was a kid in that
Hmm.
scene, but
and
still,
look, and like you were saying, like an end credit scene should at least be like decent. I mean, just look at Avengers 2. The end credit scene for
yeah,
that was
I was
like get on
smiling
a hype
so
train,
hard.
dude.
I
Oh
was
man,
just dying,
That was
smiling.
hot. Oh my
fine, I'll
god.
do it myself.
Yeah,
Oh
he's. Oh
man,
my god.
yeah, that was really good.
Because a lot of people, like, especially the people who don't read comics, are like, "Oh yeah, Thanos. I've seen him before. He's bad." But people who've read the comics, who've read the Infinity Gauntlet, you know what's
Uh,
coming.
Yeah,
yeah,
you
we
know
know
what's
what's
gonna go
gonna happen.
down.
So I mean,
It's about to go down.
you see Thanos is like off his chair walking around. He's like, "Oh shoot, something's gonna happen."
Yep.
Yeah, and
So
like
I
I was
can't.
telling. Oh, go ahead.
No, no. And I'm just saying I can't wait for that.
Oh yeah, and like I was telling, explaining MCU that during Phase 3, at the end credit scene, you're probably gonna see Thanos, what's it called, getting a hold of one of the Infinity Stones. Like in Doctor Strange, I'm pretty sure the Infinity Stone is gonna be in the Eye of Agamotto,
Yeah, that
and
makes sense.
or
And
in the
then,
necklace, and then
yeah,
you could see him like grabbing the one of the Infinity Stones.
yeah, I think it'd be super funny if, just randomly in Civil War, we just see like Thanos just run across the battlefield. It should almost be like a fourth wall moment. He just runs across the battlefield. Oh, sorry, my bad, don't mind me. Just runs across. Sorry, next movie. Or he's like, sorry, wrong movie.
Oh, that'd be funny.
And I hope the thing about X-Men Apocalypse, like I think my main hope for it is I just wanted to be like a really cool fight scene because I remember watching the animated series and they did the whole Apocalypse arc and it was really good. Because the fight scenes in X-Men, most of the movies have been really underwhelming. That's been my thing. Like they're really good in story wise, but they've been kind of when it comes to the fighting. Like you see Wolverine going and that's it.
Yeah.
So I hope they end up actually showing up, like actually give justice to mutant powers because like you just see Cyclops and it's just like phew, like once or twice and it's over. Storm with some lightning, Jean Grey moving some stuff with her hand. I mean, that's cool, but you can get so much more creative with that.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
love your sound effects, by the way.
Okay. And
But
Yeah, yeah,
do you,
I see what you mean. They could
that's just what
definitely
I'm
do a
looking
lot
for.
more
Yeah,
than
I
they
mean,
have.
as far as being hyped over it, I've
eh,
never been huge into X-Men. Like X-Men, to me, it was just way too much to get into because there was so many mutants in the
that's
first
true.
place. So, and there was so many years of continuity. Like, I wasn't going to go back and read all that. So that's why I've always been more of an Avengers guy myself. I always like the Avengers storylines, the crossover events, stuff like that.
And a cool
Yeah.
thing that they did in Last Stand that worked kind of well but didn't work too well is when they introduced like hundreds of mutants for that final battle.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the worst thing. It wasn't the best thing, but why couldn't they do something like that in Civil War wouldn't be. I mean, everything's decided now, but when they wanted to add a bunch more characters, why couldn't you just add a couple random characters in, and then you don't have to develop? That way, they have their foot in the door if you want to make future movies about them. Say, throw in like I don't know, no one comes to mind off the top of my head right now, but throw in a couple characters, and then
well, I mean, you have people.
future.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but you have people in the MCU right now that are kind of unexplained, like that are put away. Like in the Agents of Shield, you had Absorbing Man, you had a bit of Graviton, you have Abomination, who's been put away since 2008. You have at the end of the Incredible Hulk, Samuel Clemens was turning into the leader after he got that gamma exposure in his brain. So you have a bunch of people they're sitting on, and if you remember, villains were as much of a part of Civil War as heroes were.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of it. So I mean, Marvel's sitting on a lot of characters. They say they don't have a lot of characters, which is true. They don't. They don't have like a lot of the main
They
ones.
don't have them in the production right now, but
Yeah,
they're there.
but they're sitting on a lot of smaller ones. And like you said, if they wanted to introduce a couple more villains here and there, I mean, that would round out the numbers pretty easily.
Yeah, they could.
So-
They could just do something because it was such a big event, and there's not as many characters that it almost feels like a injustice or an injustice, like
Yeah, and
to like
that's-
try to pull it off. I mean, if they can pull it off. And by the way, did you see that like trailer? We talked about it on our last podcast. Did you see the trailer for the Comic-Con footage for Civil War?
yeah, I saw that with
It's so
crossbones and
dumb. It
everything.
doesn't even do anything. Like,
Yeah,
how is that supposed to build hype? We've
Well, I
already
mean-
seen him. We've already like.
I guess it's just a teaser. Like, I guess that's
it's a
it's
teaser.
not really. It's just a little teaser. It wasn't really that much. It was just because they're still shooting it. I mean, they just basically chopped up whatever they had already shot up, and then here you go. So
yeah, it was
that's why
definitely
I
a
was-
chop up.
that's why I wasn't really too expecting too much when I heard about it. But I mean, it was cool. I hope
definitely
Crossbones. Hope Crossbones actually does some stuff.
Yeah,
So,
hopefully he's not just there. I'm still hoping that he kills friggin' Captain America.
we're hoping. Like a lot of people, like if my co-host Rand was here, he would be disagreeing with you because he's a huge Captain America fan. He read The Death of Captain America, and anytime you mention Crossbones, he's like, "No, shut up, no, I don't want to see that." So
Like I'm hoping that he dies by Crossbone, but because they're gonna follow the comics. But I don't think they're gonna go that way. I think what they're gonna do is keep him until Infinity War, and then
Yeah.
like once Infinity War ends, that's gonna be opportunity for them to get new contracts with new actors.
yeah, I mean,
They can even do
Sebastian.
it. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I was saying Sebastian Stan, the Winter Soldier. He was signed off for 9 movies.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so we don't know if he's gonna end up taking the Captain America
We were
role,
talking about that last week too.
or if he's just gonna stay on as Winter Soldier, which I'm cool with either way.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
And if they're worried about just killing him off and it being too much, like too graphic, what they
Mhm.
could do is wait till Infinity War, and then when Thanos makes half the universe disappear, just make him be one of the people that like doesn't come
brought back.
or like accidentally doesn't come back or something went wrong, and so that way he's just gone, and I don't know, he's just gone, so that way we don't have to show him getting like shot and killed. We just have
Yeah.
to show him like disappearing if that's what they're worried about, and then if he gets like, yeah, let's just be, if that's what you're worried about, then go that route. Marvel, hit me up. I got some ideas for you.
See, it's funny. It's funny because I'm actually working on a video that I'm going to be releasing probably this week or next. It's all about why Captain America has become such a pop culture icon. Like he's become really popular again, and why we relate to him, why he's become the heart and soul of the MCU. And I hope you guys watch that when it comes out. But
Definitely.
one of the things that I discuss about it is that how he kind of like he's kind of like your everyman. You kind of see yourself in his shoes because he's the everyman in every movie, and he always stands up for what's right, regardless of whether it's the powers that be to tell him or his own moral compass. So the MCU was something where Iron Man was the face, Iron Man was the heart and soul. It was all about Iron Man. People were going to see Iron Man, but now I'm starting to see more Cap fans. Like if you go into like other comic book groups on Facebook or ask around on YouTube, and you ask them Team Cap or Team Iron Man, you get flooded with people going Team Cap. more
Yeah,
so
Yeah.
than Iron Man. So there was some point in the transition where it just went over to Captain America. People started relating more with him than they did with Stark.
and if you ask like comic fans, or I mean people that read comics, they're probably gonna say Captain America because they made Iron Man look like such a like he was the villain in Civil War, and like that's the way I saw it. When I read Civil War, I was like, oh man, like Iron Man's such an asshole, you know.
Well, here's the
Um,
beauty of Civil War. If you don't mind
you
me
need to
jumping
take
in,
your side, yeah,
it's that both sides were ambiguous enough. They were
yeah,
both right. Logically
yeah.
speaking, they were both right.
That's what made it such a
They did it
great
wrong though. It's
event.
like
It was
Iron
based on your
Man got it wrong.
perspective. It was based on
Yep.
your perspective, like who you thought was right. You decided that as you were reading. I could have agreed with Iron Man. I could have agreed with Cap, and we both read the same story, and that's the beauty of it, the
Yeah.
ambiguity of the story.
Yeah, like at some points I was like, oh man, like Iron Man's totally right. Like sometimes I'd be like, yeah, Iron Man, and then like the next day I'd be like, no, it's Captain America.
Yeah, there
I'm on
was
Spider-Man side. Hey, like a
Eh,
little.
a there was that
Spider-Man
one
brought an
scene.
interesting.
the thing. That was,
No, there was that one scene in the comic where he's sitting there talking to Happy Hogan, and he's just like, "Man, I hope I'm doing the right thing," because
Yeah, yeah,
Even
yeah.
Tony wasn't
oh
sure.
yeah, yeah,
So
Yeah, I remember that scene. And Spider-Man brought an interesting element into it, and that's why I'm totally psyched that they're bringing him into Civil War because he brought an interesting element. He brought like Spider-Man's always been good for this, like relatability and decisions and choices and responsibility and all that. He was able to like kind of go into one part of it and see like, oh, this is what they're doing, and get some insight, and then say, oh, this is wrong, and then transition over to the other side.
mhm.
And he was able to just, I don't know, it was almost like a third side.
Yeah,
yeah,
and here's the thing too is that we're also getting T'Challa in Civil War,
yep,
which I think is going to be cool because, like I said, I love Black Panther,
Yeah,
and
he could
they
almost
were
act as
originally
Spider-Man.
yeah they
and
were originally saying that he would be, but
yeah,
here's the other rumor that I've heard about Civil War. I don't know if you guys had heard about this as well, but I heard that several different parties, like a lot of the plot device for it about what's happening, is that Tony Stark, T'Challa, and then Baron Zemo, and obviously Cap. All four of them are looking for the Winter Soldier.
yes, that's what I heard too.
Yeah, Tony Stark going after him because he killed his parents. T'Challa supposedly because he went on a mission to Wakanda one time, killed some people, so he's trying to get revenge. Baron Zemo and Hydra going after Winter Soldier because they want to reprogram him, and Cap for obvious reasons. So I
Yep.
think that'd be a pretty cool dynamic if it's true.
Yeah, he could
Yeah,
be kind of the Nova, or what is it? Not Nova. I'm sorry, Nitro. I always get Nova and Nitro confused. He could be the Nitro of. Sorry guys, if that was a little quiet. I didn't
Yeah.
realize. I was super far away. He could be the Nitro
Mhm.
of the storyline because
Yeah.
in the movie because Nitro was the person that kicked it off. This could be like the event, maybe all of them trying to find Winter Soldier leads to this big clash, and from collateral damage, the government's like, "Hey, we got to do something about this because after New York and after whatever, and after I
Sokovia.
guess yeah, they are destroying everything, and so we have to kind of put something in place, and this was like the final straw.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's definitely something they could do
I'm excited either
because
way.
they don't
Like
have
that's
Nitro introduced.
I'm super stoked for that movie. Like I just wish it was a series of movies,
Yeah, that could be
because
cool.
I don't know, like I don't know how they're gonna pull it off all in one movie because it was such a
yeah.
huge
And that,
storyline, a huge event.
and that's what I was explaining them to you last week that I think it should have been like at least 2 movies long because I mean it was such a big event. How are they gonna
Definitely.
fit it in just one movie?
You know what I would have loved to see is that they're doing Captain America Civil War, then they come out in the next movie they're like Iron Man Civil War, where
Yeah,
it's like two different perspectives of the same thing, but in two different movies.
I
yeah,
think they say that they weren't going to make another Iron Man movie.
Yeah, that's just me. Just that's what I'd love to see. I don't think it's actually going to happen, but I just say that would be awesome if they did.
Yeah, I can totally see where you would say that because it feels like a little rushed.
Yeah,
And I
like
know and when I saw that a Serpent Society, I was kind of mad. And
yeah,
then they were like, "Oh, just kidding, it's Civil War," and I was happy, but
Get
I
on
was
the
like, "Just
Victor.
one movie?"
yeah. They trolled the people though. Like everyone was like, "Oh, okay, cool," and then Serpent Society, like, what? And then out of nowhere, bam, Civil War, J.K. And everyone's like, oh, I am super stoked for like I'm gonna watch the hell out of it. Like Marvel, take my
Oh
money
yeah,
now, take my
take it
money now.
blindly. I'm just giving it away blindly.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I just wish it was more of an arc because if you guys remember, after Civil War, it started a period in the comics called the Dark Reign, which was all this.
Yes.
It changed it. It changed the Marvel universe completely on Earth. You
Yeah.
Yeah.
had Norman Osborn as the Dark Avengers, et cetera, et cetera. The Siege of Asgard, whatnot. So you had all those events of the Dark Reign. So I wonder how that's going to affect everything leading up into Infinity War.
And
Yeah.
like I was telling explaining him to you, what they could do is the Captain America Civil War, make that an intro to Civil War, and
Hmm.
make Phase 4 all of it Civil War, or at least half of it Civil War
Ooh, that would be a little
related.
bit. That would be a little bit much, I think, because they need to introduce. Because think of it this way: Phase 4 could potentially introduce enough characters and the right characters that they could do a version of Secret Wars,
Yeah.
and that would be crazy. I would pay like top notch to see how they represent Secret Wars. If it was multiple movies, if it was like 4 movies, 3 movies, like a crazy amount of movies, and they would make more money if they did it that way. Split it
Yeah.
up and film it in one big thing, and then chop it up into 4 movies. You would make so much money from a business standpoint and please the comic fans and introduce the Marvel fans. And if people like the cinematic, then they'll go read it in the comics. So that's even more money. Because I know businesses like money. So this is it's like a win-win situation. It's like a win-win-win. One win for the company, win for the moviegoers, and win for the comic fans. Like
Yeah.
it just works. Oh, and one more thing. We're already in wrap up because
Yeah.
this is pretty much our wrap up topics.
Hmm. That's fine. One thing that I was going to ask you guys, because I feel like the fandom is kind of split down the middle on this. But what do you guys think about Ant-Man?
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know. I don't know how I feel about that still.
I mean, I'm definitely gonna go watch it,
Yeah,
but
I'll watch it because I watched most of the all of the
Marvel
Marvel
movies.
movies, but I don't know. I feel like he's
I
a
mean, I
little
think
bit too
I've,
Obscure?
that, and I feel like he's trying a bit too hard, like trying to be too comical, and I don't know. It just feels he doesn't feel like I feel like he shouldn't get his own standalone movie. I think he should be introduced in one of the movies,
Hmm.
and or even if they were gonna go with Hank Pym or even Scott, what is it, Scott Lang?
Yeah.
Introduce one of them. Just be like, oh, this is Hank Pym or oh, this is Scott Lang. Put him in a movie. I don't think he deserves a standalone movie, being as random as he is. They could fill that gap with so many other movies.
Honestly,
Maybe
like
use
all
this
this.
spot as a Civil War movie. Put
Yeah.
this as Captain America Civil War, and then the next movie coming up, make that the next Civil War, like the real Civil War.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I'm really stoked for Ant-Man because I've always been a big Ant-Man fan, and more so,
Yeah, he's cool.
I've been a Hank Pym fan. Like that's what I feel a lot of people are mad about is that we're not getting Hank Pym, we're getting
Yeah,
Scott
I'm kind of
Lang.
mad about that.
have you guys read? I'm sorry to interrupt. Have you guys read the I think I don't know if it got canceled, but I think it did. The Ant-Man, there was 5 issues.
I think it was still going, wasn't it? I don't know if it got canceled.
I don't know, because today I saw Ant-Man, a new, it got relaunched, a new
Oh, okay.
Ant-Man with Hank Pym. But I loved that those 5 issues of Ant-Man with Scott Lang. He was
Yeah.
funny. He was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, they're interesting characters, and that's something that we really haven't seen in the MCU either because they're all all the MCU heroes are all kind of like these bachelor types, and they got
Yeah,
a girl or whatever. I mean, here we're going into this thing where Scott Lang is a criminal becoming a
with the daughter.
hero with a daughter, and that's a
Hmm.
whole different dynamic,
Yep.
completely different
It
dynamic.
almost reminds me of Sandman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
Sandman, because he was a criminal, but he kind of became a good guy at the end,
Hmm.
and he had a daughter.
Yeah, and
He
then
steals money just for
rumors
his daughter.
rumors are saying that he's going to go with a new outfit for Civil War as well. He will have a more modernized version of the Ant-Man suit, and sources also supposedly say that he will be growing to Giant Man in
Oh,
Civil
Oh
War.
yeah, I heard about that. I'm excited for that. I
yeah.
hope he does.
I want to see that. I want to see
Or
a
I mean,
giant on freaking that. I'm excited for.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I don't know. Overall, I'm pretty stoked about it. Like I've been waiting for it for a while because they've been saying Ant-Man since like forever. Like it was supposed to be a Phase 1 movie. Here we are at the end of Phase 2, barely getting it. So I'm
Yeah.
pretty stoked about it. I just hope it does well because it could
I hope
surprise
it
us.
does too.
A lot of people were
Yeah.
talking bad about Guardians, and look
Oh
what
yeah, I
that happened.
remember. Yeah, I remember when they were like, "Oh, Guardians, like, oh, it's gonna do horror movie," and I'm just like, "No, this movie's gonna be amazing." I'm just like,
Yeah,
"This movie looks so amazing," and then like it came out, and boom, what do you know? Like, it's right there with Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Avengers.
yeah, it's up there. And the thing is, I think Ant-Man is just gonna visually look really cool.
Oh
Like
yeah,
just all the
definitely.
special effects with all everything shrunk down, to scale and everything. I think visually it's gonna be a really awesome,
And it's
kind of
gonna
ride.
it's gonna make sense, like how they have all like in the trailer they showed how um they had him like on the train thing where it's just like some little thing, but to
Yeah.
this perspective it's like this crazy train and like it's gonna be really interesting how they pull that off.
That's still
Yeah.
one of the funniest scenes to me I've seen in a trailer.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
it's
Yes.
up there with like Chris Pratt doing the whole, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know how this machine worked." Like I thought that
Oh
was funny as
yeah.
hell too. But I don't know. I think it's gonna be an interesting dynamic, and it's crazy because they're going with Yellow Jacket as a villain. And they did confirm. I don't know if you guys kept up with this, but they did confirm that they will be a small part of Janet Van Dyne in the movie. They confirmed it like just the other day. So we
The
will
who?
be seeing Janet Van Dyne, the Wasp, the
Oh
original
yeah, oh
Wasp.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I read that today. That she's gonna be in it or something like that.
Yeah, they're gonna. I guess what's gonna happen, from what I've been reading, is that there will be flashbacks. Like I think Ant Man's gonna cover, the areas of the MCU that we haven't really seen, like the 50s,
Yeah,
60s.
that's true.
Younger Hank Pym, younger Wasp, etc. And they're working with the SSR, and everything like that. Because I think Agent Carter and like Howard Stark are in the movie as well. So I'm
Oh,
pretty sure.
okay, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so there's gonna be plenty. Like it's gonna fill in all the rest of the gaps. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that could be, and definitely somebody was saying that the yellow jacket suit almost looks like the Iron Spider suit.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
it kind
does.
of does.
But
I
isn't it
really
be
hope they
amazing?
put the Iron Spider suit in.
That's what I'm
Civil
hoping.
War?
Yeah, that would be really
That'd
cool
be
to see.
amazing. Oh my god, that'd be cool.
That's one of my favorite spider suits right there,
Yep.
honestly.
And I can already envision the fight scene. I don't know if they're gonna do it this way. The fight scene with Captain America when he has to like when they surround him and they're like, "You're either with us on the registration thing." They're like, "You're either with us or against us,"
Hmm.
and he has to like battle all those guys and he like jumps out a window.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that was very similar to Winter Soldier when he's
Yeah.
fighting all those Shield agents and then he jumps out the elevator.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's
Yes.
kind of similar to
If
that.
that doesn't happen in Civil War, then that's almost like a nod to it.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. So I'm pretty excited. That's just me. That's just me. I'm really. I can't wait to go see it. Have my tickets
Yeah.
pre-ordered and everything.
You what? Oh, you pre? Oh my gosh! When does it come out?
Next month on the 17th, so not too far off.
Oh, it's not that far off.
I might not be there to see it. I'm not gonna be there to see it. I'm gonna be on a plane.
Oh man. Speaking of which, though, that's another video that I'm going to actually be releasing too. It's going to be how the PIM particles actually work,
Oh, that'd be interesting.
which is something that not a lot of people have talked about or touched base on because, the conception, people just go, oh, you shrink, you grow, what is there to it? But there's actually a very complex, I guess you can call it, quote-unquote, science behind it. And I already have the episode written. It's just a matter of recording and, finding all the appropriate images. So probably around next week I'll be dropping that as well.
All right,
Yeah.
cool.
What's your upload schedule like? Do you upload like just randomly or?
Well, for now, since we're still trying to get into the vibe of uploading, so like right now, everything we've been doing has been just podcasts, but we're trying to get into the doing the character content. It's just I've had a really crazy schedule like the last month, so I haven't been able to like get on a consistent schedule. Like I have like 3-4 episodes written out, flushed out. I just haven't gotten down to actually doing them. So I'm gonna start just dropping everything like bam, bam, bam. I'm thinking like 1 or 2 videos a week.
Yeah, I got a video planned out for tomorrow. I'm gonna be starting a new series. I'm gonna cover what is it? I'm gonna cover either World War Hulk / Planet Hulk
Oh, I
or
just did
Infinity
that.
Gauntlet or yeah, but I mean like the full event. Like I'm gonna go into like the
Oh, the details.
yeah everything, or I'm gonna do Infinity Gauntlet or Civil War. So
That's
I'm gonna have
cool.
like a voting session, and whoever picks what.
Yeah. To let the people that watch my videos, I don't know. I don't think I've told them this, but I make videos if I can, on Mondays. For sure on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, I have the podcast. Thursdays I make videos, and Saturdays.
Dang.
And I usually do something like I have some what's it called, categories, I guess you could say. I have like battles, epic. I call it epic battles. I have the comic talk. I have characters explained, and I also do reviews on some what's it called, issues that come out during the week. And I have CW news, which is comic world news. You know, the news that come out during the week.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Personally, for me, right now we have our most prominent feature is the Infinity Cast, which we end up usually doing on almost every week. I would like to say, like I just said, we've had the last couple of scheduling conflicts within the last couple of weeks. But these segments where I'm putting out, like I'm talking about the Captain America and the Ant-Man video that I'm going to be working on and releasing soon, that's actually on a segment called Comic Isms, which
Okay.
is more of a thought-provoking kind of video versus where it's just me telling you about a character. It's me kind of taking a philosophical or a deeper look into a certain aspect of the character and why that character is relevant and kind of trying to, feed it to you that way.
Yeah, that's very
Obviously,
interesting.
yeah, and obviously we have NHN, which is NerdHype News, which I've done one so far when we got the Punisher casting,
Oh yeah,
and
I saw
uh,
that.
and then I was gonna upload a Tom Holland casting as well video, just haven't gotten around to uploading it yet. But so far it's pretty cool.
All
This
right.
is what we're working on.
Yeah,
I think I
that's
think
pretty
uh,
cool.
I think someone got knocked off.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. Comics Explain got knocked off. I mean, explaining
explaining
MCU.
MCU got knocked off.
Yeah, he did. What happened?
I
No
don't know.
wonder your audio got like 10
He got
times.
quiet. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um. Wonder where he went.
Well, I don't know. I think should we end the podcast, or should we just wait for him?
Let me ask him.
But yeah, I haven't. And if I may usually people request videos, and I usually make them for them. Like the past couple videos, people have been suggesting or requesting videos, and that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, that's great, man. And he just let me know he's joining back right now, so he should be back on in a couple seconds.
All right.
Yeah, that's my whole thing. Is that I mean, we're us over at NerdHype. We're not just doing comics. We're also doing anime, gaming.
Yeah.
Basically any other kinds of facets of nerdiness. Like my co-host Jay Knight, he ends up taking over a lot of the gaming aspect since he games a lot more than I do. And then, like Ran, he watches more movies and he reads more books and he's into certain more things. So he ends up talking about that versus me. I'm, as you can tell, I'm your local comic nerd. So
Yeah.
I talk about the comics. I like breaking down the characters. And that's what my segment Comicism is going to be about. Like I was saying, it's just all about being more thought provoking and taking a deeper look into characters in a way that many people might not think or have seen, but haven't really seen it, on a platform like YouTube.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
like for example, like I have a video where I was lined up. Uh, um, excuse me. How does extremists work, and is it possible to have extremists in real life?
Hey, what's
From
up,
what
guys?
I'm
Back.
answering. Hey, welcome back.
I don't know what happened. Just dropped me out. Thankfully, the video kept recording. Woo!
Yeah, like I was thinking about putting up a poll about certain videos that I wanted because I have certain ideas, and I was asking a couple people about them. Like, one of the video ideas that I had for Comicisms was how does Thor's hammer operate in space? Can anyone move it in space and then break it down, show examples? The other one was like I was just explaining right now, extremists from Iron Man. How does it work, and is it possible to have something similar to it in real life, not just in comics?
I was actually reading I don't know, I can't remember where I heard this, but to power up an Iron Man suit, an actual Iron Man suit, it would actually take a whole power plant.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
That's because arc reactors aren't really a reality.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and that wasn't the power capacity arc reactors like several thousand gigajoules or whatever.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
It was
So it
strong.
was so
Yeah,
yeah, it was
strong.
pretty crazy. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's
All
pretty
right.
much it.
All right, guys. Well, one of you guys is the new leader of the thing. I think.
Um,
Go ahead and check your little control room. Does it say any like new features?
uh,
No clue.
I go on the side and it kind of tells me some things.
Yeah,
All right.
same.
I think
I think mine says live at the corner.
Yeah, it's not giving me. All right, but anyway, yeah, I'll get it figured out in a second. So I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. If you guys have anything else you guys wanna say?
Well, just sign out. This has been Danny Mac from NerdHype, and I'm really happy to have been here with you guys for the podcast. Hopefully, we can do some more, and we can get you guys on the Infinity Cast as well.
Yep, definitely. Go
Yep.
ahead and send me a message anytime.
And this has been Comic World here with you guys. I'm happy to be here, and I'm probably gonna be here every week with you guys.
Yep,
Sounds great.
should be. All right. I'm still not sure how this podcast is ending because it's not giving me the option.
Um,
Yeah, I think we could just hang up the call and that
Yeah.
I don't know. All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
alrighty.
Peace out.
Until next time. Bye-bye.
So.